watching this video, you are on it. But if your family members are not on the main One Imagine broadcast, can you please call me on?
Okay. I think I'm going to start off with...
We can't hear the music. Music સંભળાતો નથી. Minaben, I cannot hear the music.
A very good afternoon, a good evening, a good morning to you all. I just need a little show of hand from somebody there. May I ask? Okay, I can see on my screen a few people. If anybody can hear the music in the background, can you hear any music in the connection there? May I ask if you can raise your hand? Nima Kakad. No, so music is not being heard. Not a problem at all. What I'm trying to do is trying to connect some music with the introduction slide. But as you know, the virtual world, sometimes you get a little bit of a problem, but that's not a problem. We are going to start today's session irrespective. It's 3 o'clock UK time. It is 5 o'clock East Africa time, and it is 8 o'clock India time. A very good evening, a good afternoon, or a very good morning to whichever part of the globe you're joining us from. Today, we are absolutely thrilled. We are absolutely thrilled to have a most wonderful legend of our Lohana community, not only of the Lohana community, but of the whole world. We have a legend with us, Mr. Mahendra Mehta of Mehta Companies. Where do I start talking about Mr. Mahendra Mehta? Oh my God. But one thing I must say, today is our 90th session of MINLA Zoom, which started in the pandemic during 2020 in April. Meena Ben and myself, Lalit Soda, we have been conducting these inspirational, motivational sessions. And today is our 90th session that we are on with a legend who is also 90 years old today. So we are absolutely excited on having Mahendra Mehta on the 90th session of MINLA, on his 90th year that he's running through this wonderful life that he has been leading. So we have got Manu Bhai here, who is going to be sharing his life story with us. There are some amazing moments in this man's life and how he first came into Uganda and where he is today. He's in Uganda too, but let's talk about the journey. So may I say, today we are awesomely excited, very thrilled with having such a wonderful personality. Who is Mahendra Mehta? Well, Mahendra was born in Porbandar on 20th of March in 1932, the youngest son of late Sri Nanji Bhai Kalidas Bhai Mehta, the founder of the Mehta Group of East Africa. Nanji Bhai left for Uganda from India at the turn of the century, where he pioneered the growth of sugarcane, cotton, sisal, nurtured tea gardens, and coffee estates, and moved into establishing ginneries and sugar factories. Joining the family business at a very young age of 19, Mr. Mahendra Mehta took charge of the whole African group of companies in a short span of 5 years. He built the East African sugar industries at Muhoroni. Based on the great success in Kenya in 1971, he built the Kinyara sugar in Uganda with the partnership of the Ugandan government. In 1962, he was elected as the Member of Parliament and appointed member of the Planning Commission in Uganda. My God, this guy was zooming in. It was the beginning of a very profitable era at the time, which came to an abrupt end in 1972 with the coup by Idi Amin, who expelled the Asians and the non-Africans and froze their assets. Mr. Mehta's Ugandan nationality was revoked and his passport was confiscated. Deciding to start afresh, he accepted the offer of the Canadian government and set up business in Canada. In 1972, he established Agrima, Project of Engineering Consultancy Service in India, later known as Agrima Consultants International, to cater the need. In the 80s, armed with vast experience and entrepreneurial skills, Mr. Mehta won a $100 million turnkey contract from the World Bank, financed Sony Sugar for the government of Kenya. In 1979, he established Ken India. Ken India is the largest insurance company in Kenya, Eastern and Central Africa. The wheel of fate has turned the full circle, and the Mehta Group is back in Uganda. A $100 million sugar plant, the Sugar Corporation of Uganda Limited, an engineering company rehabilitated in 1994, Ugma Engineering Company Limited, a cable manufacturing company, Cable Corporation Limited, an insurance company, Trans-Africa Assurance, and a commercial company now known as Trans-Africa Commerce Limited. The group is also involved in a variety of diversification moves, the most innovative and successful being the Floriculture project. Today, the Mehta Group, with Mahendra Mehta at the helm, has a global multinational presence in Uganda, Kenya, United States of America, Canada, and India. It employs about 8,000 persons, and assets controlled by the group are approximately US $400 million. On the 12th of December 2018, Mr. Mwai Kibaki, His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, bestowed upon Mr. Mehta a Head of State Award commendation, an award that is the highest presidential commendation in the recognition for the role he has played in the company or the economy of Kenya in the last 30 years. On 14 September 2012, Mr. Mahendra Mehta received the Lifetime Achievement Award and a certificate of recognition from the Prime Minister of Uganda. On 28 September 2012, the Speaker of the Parliament recognized Mr. Mahendra Mehta for his historic contribution as a pioneer legislator in the Parliament of Uganda in the commemoration of 50 years of Uganda's legislature. 9th October 2013, the 51st independence celebration, Mr. Mehta received the Golden Jubilee Presidential Medal. And in year 2015, Mr. Mehta was given the Pravasi Bharatiya Sanman Award by the Prime Minister of India. The list of accolades and achievements for Mr. Mehta just carry on and on. Ladies and gentlemen, we are truly delighted. Whether you're logged in on Facebook, on Zoom, on Instagram, on any social media platform, we are here together today conversing with the legend who we will be so delighted that MINLA has been given a chance to talk to such a personality. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like you to open your videos and let us welcome Mr. Mahendra Mehta with a standing ovation, if we may. Can we do that, please? Ladies and gentlemen, put up your videos and let's stand up and welcome this wonderful personality. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much. Mahendra Bhai, we are delighted to have you. Mahendra Bhai, before we move on with this session, we have our wonderful lady, Meena Ben Khagram, who is in the city of Nakuru, who is actually going to do a traditional welcome for you on our Zoom. Mahendra Bhai, are we okay with that?
It's fine, thank you. I look forward to it.
Thank you. Meena Ben, the floor is all yours.
મહેન્દ્રભાઈ જય શ્રી કૃષ્ણ.
Jai Shri Krishna Ben.
મહેન્દ્રભાઈ મને તમને કઈક બતાડવું છે before I start. If you can read. તમારા ફાધરે it's શેઠ શ્રી નાનજીભાઈ કાલિદાસ મહેતા તરફથી ભેટ મૂલ્ય પ્રભુ ભક્તિ in 1954 કે એવી રીતના.
It was given to you?
It was given to my mother-in-law.
Okay, okay.
વાપરું છું.
You preserved it.
અને એક બુક હતી લક્ષ્મીની પસંદગી. બહુની પસંદગી કે લક્ષ્મીની પસંદગી એક બુક હતી મેં વાંચી હતી એના તરફથી. Okay, so
I didn't know your relationship with the family for such a long time, no?
right. Thank you. Here, Mahendra Bhai, that is still up for you. And
Thank you so much.
Dr. And welcome to Nakuru. And here is your beautiful welcome.
Thank you so much.
Okay, global namaskar to all. My cute cousin Lalit and myself are super excited to welcome you all to our MINLA Zoom and those who have joined live on Facebook. Welcome to our East African legend, Sri Mahendra Mehta. He's a very polite and helpful person, doing so much for community and especially for land, for anybody who needs to help, especially his own land. He was born and brought up in East Africa, just like his father, Dadaji, Nanji Kalidas Mehta. We are very proud of listening to you, his story. And I'm sure you all would like to do the same. Welcome to the flamingo and crater city of Nakuru, where Lake Nakuru is famous for wildlife and flamingos are the main thing. We have oldest museum and all volcanic crater. Now most famous for East African safari rally. Nakuru County is the one where world famous fastest runners in the world like Eliud Kipchoge We have first Kenyan, James, who climbed Mount Everest, and first Kenyan daughter, Angelina, who played for Wimbledon and won. We are number 1 in Africa. Biwi Nabwana. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to our backbone of this session, Dr. Lalit Soda. Dr. Lalit is a chiropractor, world-class speaker, and author. He believes in giving back to the society. Recently, he has climbed Himalayas and wished to do parikrama on Mount Kailash. Lalit, we are very proud of you. He is also recipient of many awards, including Marwa Journalist Awards and World Lohana Mahaparishad Award as a journalist. Thank you. Over to you, Lalit.
Thank you very much, Meena Ben. Thank you for traditionally welcoming our guest speaker on the MINLA Zoom session. We are truly delighted once again, ladies and gentlemen, to have such a personality. Mahendra Bhai, I am so delighted. It's my honor, my pleasure to be having an interview session with you. So thank you for coming, and the floor is all yours. For the next 2 minutes or so, you can say whatever you want to say, and then we will engage ourselves into a question-answer session. Mahendra Bhai, it's all yours.
Here in Lugazi, I'm speaking from my house. I have my office in the house. And it's been raining cats and dogs here. And it's become quite cold, so I'm wearing a pullover. First of all, let me thank you and Meena Ben for arranging this interview. Let me tell you, first of all, I feel that to call me a legend, that is not very appropriate. My father, of course, was a legend, in his lifetime. I'm only trying to follow in his footsteps. So to call me a legendary figure, I think it's a bit premature, and I think it's a bit too much. I'm a humble person trying to follow, keep up, the tradition and the values, which our father had taught to us, And in spite of the fact that I'm the youngest amongst the children of my father and mother, it came upon me to take the responsibility of rebuilding the group and to look after the good work which my father had done in developing the group. There are lots of incidents. I had lots of ups and downs in life, which I've described in my book, which I'm sorry I had not sent it to you earlier. Had I known you before, I would have sent you earlier to enable you to go through it. Just a lot of friends, used to come and visit us, and from time to time they were asking me, Mahendra, tell us about your experience with the army and what you did in Uganda and how you were expelled and so on and so forth. And I used to tell this story verbally. And then their suggestions came for a lot of our friends that why don't you write a book? Writing a book and talking is a different thing. It requires a lot of research, a lot of dates have to be ascertained, a lot of facts are to be verified so that one doesn't give wrong impression to anybody. So it took me about 2 years to write the book. And I did not believe in engaging a professional to write the book because with a professional, you cannot really express yourself fully. He may like to introduce own language, his own concept of what had taken place, etc. So I'd call my secretary. She was for 8 years she was working with me in India, and she was very well educated, wrote beautiful English. And I said, you know me and I know you for last 8 years. She had migrated to Canada after retirement. So why don't you come and help in writing this book? So she came here, stayed with me for first 3 months. We prepared a draft. Again, she went back to Canada. So in 2 years' time, we managed to complete the book. And I wanted the book to be like, as I'm telling the story to the audience, that this is how my lifestyle, my whole life, starting from the childhood, and till this date. I think I completed the book about 3 years back, 4 years back. Yeah. So that was that. And many people have read the book. So I don't have to add much than what I've already conveyed in my book. But
that's
nevertheless,
very, very humble of you, Mahendra Bhai. First of all, your legendary status, obviously you are a legend. It's only your humbleness that we hear from you that you're not. You're definitely following your father's footsteps, Sri Nanji Kalidas Bhai Mehta. You know what? Today we are so proud, so proud that amongst the Lohana community, we have such a hero in our community. In fact, if we had to write a book for the community members and talk about the heroes, I think you are definitely included in there. Today, we also have our president of the Lohana Mahaparishad, જે આખા વિશ્વના લોહાના કમ્યુનિટીના આપણે એમ કહી શકીએ કે પ્રમુખ છે, તેઓ પણ આજે આપણી સાથે આ ઝૂમ પર જોડાયા છે. અને તેઓ છે શ્રી સતીશભાઈ વિઠલાણી from મુંબઈ. અને તેઓ હાલમાં આપણા લોહાણા કમ્યુનિટી મહાપરિષદના મુખ્ય આપણા એમ કહીએ કે પ્રેસિડેન્ટ છે. તો એ પદ્ધતિ ઉપરથી આજે આપણે સતીશભાઈને ખાલી વેલકમ કરીએ. સતીશભાઈ, આપનો ખૂબ ખૂબ આભાર કે આપ આ ઝૂમ પર આપણે આજે આવી શક્યા છો. આપણા મહેન્દ્રભાઈ મહેતા માટે આપને 2 મિનિટનો સમય આપીએ કે આપ એમના વિશે કંઈ કહી શકો. થેન્ક યુ સતીશભાઈ.
Satishbhai, I'm grateful that you found time to attend to this conference, this Zoom conference.
Mahendra, Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai
As
Shri
Lalit
Krishna.
As Lalit bhai mentioned, you are truly a humble person. And not only that, we are really proud to have you, here on not this session. But I don't know, Mahendra bhai, Sri Lohana Mahaparishad જે છે એ 1918 માં બંધ પડતી ગઈ અને 1952 માં જ્યારે શ્રી લોહાણા મહાપરિષદ તરીકે ચાલુ થઈ ત્યારે પિતાશ્રી એટલે દાદાશ્રી નાનજીભાઈ કાલિદાસ મહેતા was the first president of this. અને તમે જો આખી જર્ની જો મહાપરિષદની તો એમણે જે બીજ જે વાવ્યા છે એજ્યુકેશનના, મેડિકલના, શિક્ષણ એટલે એની અંદર જે વિમેન એમ્પાવરમેન્ટના, અને તમે જોઈ શકશો એની અંદર કે જે છે અત્યારના એ બધા જે બીજો જે છે એમણે જે વાવ્યા હતા, જે એમની ફોરસાઇટનેસ જે હતી, that is truly working even now. So what Lalitbhai says is truly absolutely correct કે તમે and the family, તમે જો amongst few ની અંદર જો family ની અંદર જો આપણે કોઈનું નામ લઈ શકીએ એની અંદર, તો we are so proud that we can so strongly, we can humbly, heartfelt કહી શકીએ એની અંદર કે જે છે મહેતા ફેમિલી, નાનજી કાલિદાસ મહેતા ફેમિલી is one of the best in the world and best in our community. Thank you so much, Mahendra bhai. We are really so proud to have you, in Zoom meeting. And Lalit bhai and Meena ben, have been really making, all differences, by inviting, finding good people around and introducing them, to the world. Thank you so much. I don't want to, I can say many things, about Mahendra bhai. I have done, a lot of research and work. એમની એક વસ્તુ મને બહુ જ ગમી, એ કહે છે કે સફળતાનો રસ્તો કઠિનાઈઓ અને સંઘર્ષ ભરેલો હોય છે. Then that is true. આજે એટલું બધું સચોટ રીતે તમે જે તમારી બુકની અંદર જે લખ્યું છે, that is so true. એની અંદર મહેન્દ્રભાઈ, we'll have an opportunity to meet you. We are going to have about 7th April now, એટલે next year during Easter, Uganda ની અંદર we are planning under the leadership of Sudhirbhai business convention આપણે ત્યાં આગળ કરી રહ્યા છે. That I'm sure that before that also September end ની અંદર in case આવવાનું થશે, then I'll make a phone call to you and હું તમારા દર્શન કરવા તમને પગે લાગવા ચોક્કસ આવવા માંગુ છું એની અંદર. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time, Lalitbhai.
આપ ક્યાંથી બોલો છો?
હું મુંબઈ છું.
મુંબઈ છું. અચ્છા. I'll be coming to Bombay in December. Gurukul is having a function to commemorate, the foundation day of Radhakanya Gurukul. So आप जरूर पधारजो, but we'll be sending you a formal invitation. Haji.
Thank you. Satish bhai, thank you very much, the president of the Lohana Mahaparishad. We absolutely are very thankful that you've taken time to come on the MINLA Zoom. Just before you go, Meena Ben would wish to just give a traditional welcome to you, a garland for you. Satish bhai.
Satish bhai, this is for you. I don't want to take even 1 second out of Mehta.
Thank you very much, Meena Ben. Thank you, Satish bhai. Mahendra bhai, ખાસ તમને પહેલો પ્રશ્ન મારે એ પૂછવો છે. The first question I would like to ask you, how did you and your father land up in Uganda?
It's a long story.
Yes.
And he had written in his autobiography, my Jivan Katha, in Gujarati, which was translated into Dream Half Express in English. As a young boy, in a very small village, Gorana, in Porbandar is about half an hour's drive. Doesn't come in Porbandar state, comes in the Jamnagar state. But he was born there. My dada, dadi were there. My dada was a very pious person. Dadi was quite strict. But my father, right from the beginning, when he was talking to in Porbandar, talking to the sailors, Kharwa community, as to where they had been, what was beyond the sea, what kind of places they had visited, and that inspired him that he has got to go and see the world. And at the tender age of 13, with about 10 rupees in his pocket, he decided to sail. He first came to Mombasa, and the steamers were not very often, so they decided to take a dhow. And it took a month or so to reach Mombasa. But thereafter, he had to go and see his uncle, who was trading, in Madagascar. So on that journey, there was a tremendous storm. The ship was about to drown. They had to cut the mast, and then it drifted and went to little island where the people welcomed them. One of the missionaries gave help, to rebuild the mast, repair the ship, and thereafter he decided, to come to Tanzania, where he got his first job with a family as a housekeeper and as a cook, getting very small salary. But thereafter he decided, that probably he had a vision that something more had to be achieved. So he came to Uganda in 1904. I think this is all well described, in his autobiography. In
Sure.
part of it I quoted in my book also.
Sure.
And thereafter he started this little shop in Kamuli, and that was the beginning of his career. Then in course of time he owned about 10, 15 shops. Thereafter he went into cotton industry and built number of generaries in Uganda. And Uganda cotton was famous one time. Uganda was producing almost 500,000 bales of cotton. And the economy in those days, was based on the 3 C's in 3 T's: tea, tobacco, and tourism, cotton, coffee, copper. And his contribution in developing the tea industry, the cotton industry, and he was the first one to introduce Uganda cotton to Japan, which is still in the record of the Japanese government as to what he did, how he helped Japanese people, introduced them to Uganda. Thereafter, I think most of his life is known to many people because of his
Correct.
autobiography. So I will not really expand on that.
That's amazing. That's really truly amazing. That started from such a humble beginning as a housekeeper and then into a shop, into cotton ginneries, into tea, tobacco, and tourism. My goodness. So Mahendra Bhai, you then come about. God grants him a wonderful son. Nanji Bhai Kalidas Bhai Mehta had obviously 4 children. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes. And you are the youngest of the 4.
Yeah, I am the youngest.
Yeah. So what we would like to hear just a little bit about your childhood pastimes and about your favorite love for your sister, Savita Didi.
See, as a person born, as a child born and with a golden spoon in his mouth, when I was born, last born, father had been very prosperous. He had built quite an empire. for himself. So naturally, I must have been spoiled a little bit naughty, but my education was disturbed very much because first I started studying in school in Lugazi. Thereafter, in Mombasa, where my brothers were also. I think at that time there were very few schools, where one could go, Indian community can go and study. It was the early.
Okay, I think we are having a little bit of a difficulty with network. Are we, Minaben, if you can help me, is Mahendra Bhai's screen frozen or is he available to talk?
He felt, that I should stay there with the family and study in the local school in Porbandar. Well, I was admitted there, and there were a lot of boys there studying in this school, government school. But I picked up a lot of bad language, with the music, in those days, in the school, they must. So father got very angry. He said, "Look, you can't carry on like this, So I was asked to study at home. He engaged a very good teacher called Vyas, Mr. Vyas. And he was quite learned, taught us Sanskrit, he taught us science, and I used to give examination in the board of Hindu school. Thereafter, I was sent to Panchgani. Father felt, that I had to go to boarding school, and we were admitted in about 12 of.
Yes, I think again the screen is freezing.
Special dormitory.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you are having some trouble listening, I know there is a lot of rain in Lugazi at the moment, and probably the network connection is dropping a little bit. Mahendra Bhai, are you still with us?
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah.
Perfect.
See,
okay.
Yeah, so in Hindu school, it's called Hindu high school in those days, called Sanjeevan Vidyalaya now. So father decided, because we were not getting enough food to eat there, and as young people, we had strong appetite. So ultimately, my father decided to keep a governess, and I think that was the best thing that happened in my life. She was such a good governess, called Shanta Ben Burma. She taught us all the yogic asana. At that age, I must have been about 12-year-old, at that time. We learned, I could do about 84 asanas, most difficult asanas, yogic asanas. And we learned all about the Vedic mantras, Vedic philosophy, the Arya Samaj, Swami Dayanand's Satyas Prakashan, which brought out the true meaning of the Vedas, in that, rather than the ritual aspect of our religions. So that went on. Thereafter,
can I ask you a question, Mahendra Bhai? Sorry to interrupt you there. From what I read a little bit about you and what I've heard about you is that you wanted to actually come and study in London at the Oxford University in England. And did you manage that? And what happened in that scenario?
Well, let me finish, because Mahatma Gandhi came.
Sure.
When he was released from prison in 1944, something like that. I don't remember the exact date. My father invited him. Said, "Why don't you come to Panchgani and recover your health?" Which was for so many days he was fasting there. So he accepted that, and our house was converted into ashram. So we had to do sweeping of the floor, and there was a famine at that time. So all the food used to be rationed, So even Nehru comes, or Sardar Vallabhbhai comes, whoever comes, to visit Mahatma Gandhi, ask them how many chapatis they are going to eat, because not a single chapati should be wasted. And our Shantaben used to really carry out these instructions so religiously, So that is one of the aspects, where we had exposure to Mahatma Gandhi. In fact, he lost his walking stick. Somebody had stolen it. It's a souvenir.
Okay.
And he went fasting. He said, I will not really, how can my things can be stolen in a place like Panchgani, in the house of Nanji Kailash Mehta. I used to do carpentry in those days. So I made a stick for him. And I said, Bapu, please leave your fast. Would you accept this? Just he looked at me, laughed, giggled, I said, are you sure you made it? I said, yes. Then he left his fast, That was my exposure to Mahatma Gandhi ji. And we were young boys, Thereafter, I was in St. Peter's School. The Panchgani was famous for about 7 schools with very good climate. And I did my senior committee there and went further. My sisters were also sent to UK. And I was asked I should also join them for further studies. And I had to go through and get high school certificate, before I could be introduced, I could apply for the college. And during that time, my eldest brother, Kimji Bhai, who was in charge of, my father had left sugar factory, because after he left Uganda, war started. It was very dangerous to travel between Uganda. Otherwise, normally he'd done about 52 trips in a ship between Africa and India. But that period when war was going on and bombardment of ships were torpedoed, by Japan, he could not travel, and the management was handed over to my eldest brother. Now, eldest brother decided that he would like to settle in America, in Switzerland, and he left the family. And that broke my father's heart, He felt very bad about it, And he said, this is influence of the Western countries, Western influence. I don't want my children to remain there anymore. My eldest sister was doing her course in the English educational thoughts and practice, with a view to give some more ideas in the Gurukul, which she was looking after. She was, you heard about the Parishads, Luana Parishad. She was a speaker there in one of the sessions,
Yes.
Yeah, and she's a wonderful speaker, wonderful orator, and she appealed, to the public, to donate for the widows and for the women who were abandoned, and women who didn't get any opportunity of studying further in their life, And it was such a touching speech that apart from the money, whatever people had in their pocket, they declared a lot of donations for that. I think 40 lakhs of rupees in that parishad was collected to do her oratory, And she had really agreed to take the charge of the Gurukul after having been educated, in Baroda University, where she graduated there. And she had tremendous mastery over Sanskrit, Gujarati, English, and also subsequently when she took up the Manipuri dancing, she could talk on Manipuri, language also. So she has been a great guidance to me. She persuaded ultimately. My father said, no more study. You come back, join the Lugazi University and start from scratch. No need to have a great degree in your life. I came back to Uganda. Bit sad, that I didn't get the opportunity of completing my studies. And I decided, well, in those days, father's word was the last word, you had to carry out the instructions. And so I decided I'll make my career since I'm joining the business here. And my middle brother had taken over, Dilubhai had taken over the business. So I joined him. And I found a lot of practices which were in the company were a bit primitive. So I decided to go all over the world to study sugar industry. One of the factors which led me to travel all over the world was to find how to improve the efficiency of the organization, and how to improve the productivity of the labor. At that time, we were employing about 10,000 people with about 12,000 acres of land. And there was a tremendous shortage of labor because in Tanzania, there were large sisal industries, and prices of sisal had shot up because of the Korean War. So there was a shortage of labor. We could not really harvest all the cane which was available because we couldn't get the labor to. Most of the labor used to be recruited. Some of them were taken by plane to work on the sisal estate because it was the most profitable industry at that time. So I went first to Mauritius, which is the center of sugar industry. They make 500,000 tons. But in those days, they had about 30, 35. To start with, they had about 100 sugar factories. Then they were reduced to 35 because many of them merged. After that, today in Mauritius, there are only 4 sugar factories with the same amount of production. Yeah, they produce the same amount of sugar because in Ireland there is not much scope for expansion of the agricultural land. So the whole process of consolidation took place. Companies merged, factories merged, and whole transport system was mechanized so that the vehicles could go into the field, collect the cane. See, in Lugazi, we had railway line. We had 100 kilometers of railway, and all the cane used to be loaded in railway, walking great distance from the place of harvest and coming to the railway line for loading, So, and after that, I went to Hawaii. I went to Australia first, in Hawaii, where a lot of mechanization was taking place. People were harvesting something like 10 tons per person because of the facilities they had, and the way the whole plantation was developed. So that was my education. I learned a lot during this travel.
Yeah, even in your book, you allude to the fact that your travels actually, you learned a lot traveling and visiting different places, picking up different ideas and getting your education that way. When was the first time you actually landed in the United Kingdom?
United Kingdom must be 1951, I think. 1950, I think.
1950. Yeah. Oh my God, that's so many years ago. But you know what? Coming into United Kingdom at that time, the Asian population was scarce. It wasn't as large as it is now in this present moment in 2022. So, and you've seen the changes that have taken place in the Asian community, from media to politics to every field that Asians have really created a big name. And may I say today, Mahendra Bhai, we are joined from the British politics, we are joined by a very prominent personality in London and the United Kingdom, Lord Dollar Poppert. So he has actually agreed to be with us on the Zoom, wanted to make sure that we acknowledge his presence and have a couple minutes just so that we don't take too much of your time, Mahendra Bhai. Dollar Bhai is just going to give a word of wisdom and a little bit of an acknowledgement of your presence on the Zoom. Dollar Bhai, welcome on the MINLA Zoom session.
Dollar Bhai has been a friend of mine. We
need to unmute. We need to unmute you, Lord Poppert. Thank you. Go ahead. Unmute.
Hello.
Lord Poppert, you need to unmute, or Minaben, if you can unmute him. Yeah, there we go. Welcome.
Great, thank you. Namaskar, Mahendra Bhai.
Namaskar, Dollar Bhai. How are you?
And Bhai, thank you for inviting me. In fact, it's always a pleasure to be on your Zoom thing. I thoroughly enjoyed listening to people and their legacy. But I would start with Nanji Kaldas Mehta. In fact, Nanji Kaldas Mehta remains, the late Nanji Kaldas Mehta remains a towering figure, both within the Lohana community and indeed for the global Indian diaspora throughout the world, especially in UK. In fact, apart from his business acumen, is his philanthropy. And I always say, Mahendra Bhai, when I give speech, I'm giving one on Thursday, I'm going to say that again. There is a Jalaram Mandir Ma at Shabashe. The first philanthropist within the Lohana community was Jalaram Bapa. If you ask me who's the second most philanthropist, was Nanji Kaldas Mehta. They taught us philanthropy. They taught philanthropy to the British Indian community in UK, but in East Africa as well. And philanthropy wasn't about giving money, but contributing time, love, and compassion. That's more important as well when it comes to philanthropy. Such is the character of a man who has instilled the spirit of confidence and motivation, ambition, faith, as well as simplicity to his family. And let me now come back to Mahendra Bhai. In fact, his infamous legacy continues today by Mahendra Bhai, to live through his children, particularly Mahendra Bhai Mehta, and of course Juhi and Jay, who are very actively involved in the Gurukul, which was one of the best and the first and the foremost school for Indian girls, for girls' education. In those days, it wasn't known for girls to go to school, but they were at the forefront of women empowerment. And I really, going back literally 100 years now. So I really admire that. And of course, Mahendra Bhai Mehta, who went to become a member of parliament in Uganda. At the time, it was a stark reminder of the responsibility that we had to participate in the political process and engage in civic duty, the country we called home, Uganda. And hence what happened exactly 50 years ago, Lalit, 28,000 Ugandans were kicked out because of a lack of political participation. Hence, Mahendra Bhai in many ways inspired me to take part in politics 40 years ago, to make sure that we do not make the same mistake we made in East Africa. And you can see there's a small possibility that our next prime minister will be a British Indian from East Africa again. Hopefully it happens. You can see we've got 5 cabinet ministers from East Africa. So look at the difference Mahendra Bhai, when he first went into politics, made. And of course, his economic contribution in Uganda has been enormous. And to have that guts to come back and start from scratch is something to be admired, Mahendra Bhai. Mahendra Bhai, well done. Long live Mahendra Bhai. And thank you for what you've done. And the legacy you took from your father, and you continue that legacy within the Mehta family, and you're now taking it over to your next generation. I really admire you. And I thoroughly enjoyed that lunch last week with you, Juhi, and of course, Suna Inabe, and my pranam to Suna Inabe. Thank you.
Lord Poppert, thank you so much. Lord Poppert, that's a very, very generous introduction, very kind little insight on Mahendra Bhai's contribution to the society at large. So thank you very, very much for that, Lord Poppert.
Let me say a word about that.
Yes, go ahead, Mahendra Bhai.
Dollar Bhai gave me his autobiography, which we've been going through now. it was only about fortnight back, that we had lunch together. And the way he started from scratch, I mean, it's a remarkable achievement, which is in his life, and Luana community has reason to be proud of him for what he has done. Not only built himself and rose, from, he even worked, as a waiter in a restaurant to start with, as a young boy, and then went up and up and up and up, till he became he got his title of lordship, Lord Beaufort. And he has been particularly interested in and has been given the assignment to promote business in East African region, which he's trying his best to do. Some of the governments are a bit slow in responding to whatever suggestions he comes up with, for improving the trade relations, between these countries, But we certainly have reasons to be proud of him.
Absolutely.
And
I think, as we say, Mahendra Bhai, the Lohana community is very proud, but I think the whole British community is also very proud of our Lord Poppet. He's not only a legend in making, but he truly is a legend also. So yes, his autobiography is a wonderful one.
Yeah.
Mahendra Bhai, moving on, I have a question to ask you.
Yeah.
This is a question which says, not long after you got into your business, you had a huge empire that built in Uganda, and then came the expulsion of the Indians and the people of the Asian origin by Idi Amin. And you were amongst the handful people who were asked to stay behind. Why do you think he gave you such an order? And what was your thought process going on? If we can spend maybe about 3 or 4 minutes discussing this, we'd love to hear what exactly happened at that time with your life.
I don't know whether people know about it, but Idi Amin was born on our estate. His mother was working here. And as a child, we also went to school, our school, which we provided for all the staff members here and the children. We have, at the moment also, we have about 6,000 children studying in our 14 schools, primary and secondary. So he had been to one of our schools. After that, he left, and went and then joined army. And I had known him quite well, because time to time, when Obote appointed him as head of the army, he used to come and purchase a lot of our equipment. We had agency, for Tata, for Leyland. We had agency for Mazda. We had agency for the BMW. And he used to love fast car. He used to come there and very often talk, about his life and how he did in the army and so on and so forth, And on the whole, he had a soft corner because, he was brought up here. He was looked after while he was a child here. So that was one of the reasons. When the time came, he said, well, you stay back, Mehta, you stay back and help me to run the industries which the people are leaving. The Asian community is leaving behind. But it's interesting, people sometimes think that he expelled the Indian community purely because he hated them. It may be partially true. People also said that he wanted to marry a very rich widow of a rich man, and she refused. So that's why he was angry, but that is also not quite true. What happened after he took over? He took over as a result of, in my opinion, conspiracy between the Western powers, because the socialism was spreading very fast in those days, and Obote was following that socialistic pattern even in Uganda. And Uganda, Tanzania, Of course, this was started by Pandit Nehru, the whole movement, and they were the champions of socialism. Nehru, Nkrumah, Nyerere, Nassar, Tito, Sukarno. These were the leaders who introduced socialism, nationalized their industries, and each one of them suffered, economic drawback. Because one can go into details, but in short, I would say those policies did not work. They failed, and it also gave rise, to the black market because of the control. And as far as Nehru is concerned, though we'd known him very well, we'll probably find our photographs with him, in the book. But in my opinion, the progress of India was retarded by at least 20, 30 years because of the socialist policy, which I call it not socialism, but a state capitalism, and ruled by the bureaucrats who dictated their terms, and a lot of corruption came into the practice. But going back to Idi Amin, as I say, he had a bit of a soft corner. And real reason why he expelled Asian community was first when he took over from voting as a result of help by the Israelis who were in charge of training the commandos, special commandos, of which presidents in Uganda have, all over African states have, because they have special weapons, special equipment, special training to protect the president. So Israelis were in charge of training that commandos, for voting, and they handed over the key of the armory when Obote was still attending the Commonwealth Conference and giving lectures about the imperialist, and Western powers and so on and so forth. And he just took over. When he took over, there were hardly any killing. One or two people were probably shot dead who opposed him, but it was bloodless coup. And he announced on the television that Obote did not come back. Thereafter, what really made him expel Asian community most probably, opinions might differ, but people say because he didn't like the Asian community, they had exploited the whole country, etc., etc. But real reason was that he got his inspiration from Gaddafi. He went first to Saudi Arabia and asked for help, financially, because the treasury was empty. And they say, you come in power with help of your Israeli friends, Zionists, and you're coming to Arab country to ask for help. So he said, what shall I do? So we'll get rid of them. So within 1 week, all the Israelis who helped him to take over the reins of Uganda, they were out. He expelled them. Again, a lot of killing went on. A lot of people whom he suspected were against him. That process went on. And then again, he was very, very short of funds, so he went to Gaddafi. And it was the time when my wife had delivered our daughter, second child, Radha, and she was suffering from the problem of blood, incompatible blood grouping. So I was trying to contact I said, I want to go. And they would decree that no former member of parliament could leave the country without the permission of Idi Amin, the president. And the acting president would not give permission. He said, I dare not give a permission because the punishment can be this. So when he came back, I went to see him. And he says, Mehta, why haven't you gone? If your daughter is born and she's having a medical problem, you go. I said, who stopped you as your acting president? He said, he's a stupid man, you go. Don't promise me of doing anything with the things in situation. Within a week or 10 days, of course, by grace of God, and my wife, had surrendered the baby, to her guru and said, look, I don't know, I'm handing over this baby to you, and it's up to you. And like a miracle, before he operated, he was going to operate, take out the blood, which was negative, and infuse new blood. I mean, for a 50-year-old, 20-year-old baby, a very dangerous operation. But before doing that, he checked again after she had delivered the girl to her guru in a fresh. And she went outside and sat in the garden in the hospital. And when he checked again, she by herself had her system had rejected the O group and retained the B group. And gradually she recovered. Didn't even read any blood transfusion. But coming back to the Amin, so after I went there, within 1 week, announcement came that all the foreigners must leave the country. We didn't realize at that time that something like 50% of the Indian population had Uganda citizenship, including people like me. So after a while, when you realize, that this is what I announced for only for foreigners, and you can't regard as citizens of Uganda as foreigners. So next announcement came that all the non-indigenous people must quit the country. I mean, we couldn't claim to be indigenous,
Sure.
not having black skin or curly hair. So that was it. So when I came back from London, I again went to see him at the State House and asked him, I said, what are your instructions for me? Do you want me to go? He said, no, you stay here and try and help me to run the industries. So I maintained very low profile about any people who wanted to quit, not knowing what the future is going to be in the country. I said, all right, you take your salary, you take your gratuity. They were allowed to take 50,000 rupees, I mean shillings, which was equivalent to, at that time, it might have been around 7 shillings to a dollar. And I said, whoever wants to go can go. But I think about more than 50 people remained behind. I said, as long as you are here, we are with you. Monu Bhai at that time, was giving a lot of press statement and so on, that we used to exchange information. I told Manu Bhai Madhwani I'm talking about.
Yes.
I said, Manu Bhai, don't make any public announcement because dictators don't like to be challenged in any way. We say somebody has got to speak for the Indian community, but I said, do whatever you want to do quietly, as I'm doing. But to make press announcements is a very dangerous thing. And then it so happened that one day he was picked up by the security, taken to prison. And on this very day, my house was surrounded.
So, Mahendra Bhai, sorry, I'm going to interrupt you. The house was surrounded by the army. Is that correct?
Right.
Yeah. Once you were given permission to stay by Idi Amin, and then all of a sudden, few days later, your house gets surrounded by the army. In your book, The Call to the Peacock, you allude to that story. I'm so lucky. And I must say that I received this book from your lovely daughter, Radha. Radha, thank you very, very much for this book. I know she's online here today, and it would be a pleasure to have you on board with us on this session. So thank you. If we can get some spotlight, and if you're able to come and talk to us, that would be great. But I want to say thank you. And in this book, you allude to this episode of peacocks on that particular day. Can you share the story and why you call your book The Call of the Peacock?
They're surrounded, but I mean, I had given instructions not to touch me. So they came after about a couple of hours and told me that I said, why have you surrounded the house? He says, no, we're just trying to protect you because there were a lot of unrest going on in around Kampala and about Lugazi. So that time I was not touched. I still continue to live in Uganda, maintaining very low profile. My brother had also come from India to join us. My nephew was here, but my wife and my children were not here at that time.
Okay.
It was
and at
later
that point in time, did you leave Uganda or did you decide to still stay there?
I stayed there. I
You
stayed in
stayed.
Uganda. I stayed in Uganda. And I was staying, we've got two bungalows on top of the hill. One was built by my father in 1934 with a GI sheet roof and sealed is maintained like. Incidentally, the last king of Scotland was shot in these two houses, and this house where I'm speaking from was built in 1944-45.
Wow.
And we stayed behind.
Sure. So you decided to stay behind, and at that point in time, from your book, I gather you were doing setting up some consultancies. Is that correct?
The consultancy started little earlier.
Okay.
When Manubai Shah came here, who was Minister of the Commerce, in the Indian government, and he said, "What can we do to help Uganda?" So they said, "We want some more industries." And one of the industries they asked for was sugar factory. They said, "We want 4 sugar factories so that we can produce sugar. Uganda is very suitable for producing sugar. We like to export it." And then they said, "All right, we can provide you machinery. We can't provide you finance." At that time, and that was if India was manufacturing a lot of sugar machinery in those days, but they could not provide finance. So ultimately, I took over that project, and I said, "Look, we'll build that project, make sure that we raise the finance also, machinery from India." And that was the consultancy, the first project which gave me experience how to build the projects on turnkey basis, in competition with the other suppliers of machinery all over the world. Mm-hmm.
So you continued obviously developing the businesses while all other people had been evacuated from Uganda, but you decided to stay put. Was there any fear within you that what will happen to the empire, what will happen to your lives? Did you go through any element of fear? Oh, welcome. Sorry, Mahendra Bhai, I'm going to pause here. And we have a lovely personality once again, Papa's daughter, the lovely daughter, Radha Mehta.
Hello,
Radha,
everyone. Namaste.
Namaste. Welcome on MINLA Zoom session. And you're on live with your dad over here.
Absolutely. Hi, Dad.
Hello. Hi. Nice to see you. Bolo.
So I'm going to put this live and say, Radha, thank you very much for the book you sent to me. I really appreciate. And all I can say is when I look at Manubai and Sunaina Ben's pictures of the younger years, they are absolutely from the Bollywood industry. They look such handsome actors, and a beautiful actress like Sunaina Ben. My God, they would have made it in Bollywood just like your Bhabhi has made it, Juhi Ben.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for coming live with us. A quick message for your dad.
You're sounding good, Dad, and very proud of you as always. He's an inspiration to the whole family, and he's our bedrock. He's the foundation from which we all have grown, and we are all able to do whatever we do because of him. And we're very, very grateful for, that he's here at 90 years old and still, able to carry us all. And yeah, just love you, Dad.
So sweet, Radha, so sweet of you. Thank you for coming online with us. We really appreciate that. And you know what, Mahendra Bhai, I'm going to turn the question a little bit around over here. Radha actually mentioned that you are there for them, and at 90, you're going so strong. So there's a question that came up on the chat box that said, Mahendra Bhai, share your secret of your longevity.
I suppose it must be the disciplined life I had led after we've taught, the yogic asana. I continue doing that, in my young days. And rest, of course, if you live a simple life, carry on with your exercises, and you naturally have a long life. And I think apart from that, actually, I was a victim of encephalitis when I went to I went to Congo, and when I came back, in this very room in which I'm sitting now and talking to you, this was a bedroom at that time, and my brothers were living on the other rooms. I developed little temperature, and then I was about to play some music on the record. And in those days, we had the gramophone, and we had to wind them and listen to the music. And I suddenly fainted, fell down on the floor, and I think one of the records was broken. It's a blood spot on my temple. And thereafter, everybody was worried. The antibiotics were still being developed. There were no antibiotics, and it took them 3 days to analyze, to find out, diagnose what had happened to me. I was unconscious.
Whoa.
So my sister was very worried. They were thinking, the whole family was thinking of coming, taking charter plane, coming here, because in those days there were no direct connection between India and Africa. You had to go. All the flights were between colonizers and colony, going north and south. So they think of chartering a plane. And meanwhile, my very good friend was very spiritually advanced also. He was also a doctor, Dr. Bhosle. His life is also very interesting. He was in Tibet with his guru, to call him Mota Baba. And he said, look, I'm feeling uneasy today. He says, what has happened? So Guru told him that probably a young man whom you are very fond of is in trouble. So he said, what can I do? He said, he's very, very serious. You may or may not survive. But if you like, I'll do some vidhi for you. So he gave his blood in the Havan. And then he sent from Tibet a message to my sister. He said, don't worry. Mahendra is going to recover, and 7th day he will open his eyes. And that's what happened. On 7th day, I opened my eyes.
Wow.
And I was looking for my gramophone. I was looking for my chappal. So after that, he treated me for 2 years. He said, I'll make you a stronger, better man than you were before. He did tremendous command on his physiotherapy and the vibrations. Even he used to treat Nehru and Rajendra Prasad. He treated a lot of people in his life. And he was a great friend. 2 years he of his life, stayed with me wherever I went, kept on treating me.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So you obviously got treated, you got better from your encephalitis. Obviously,
Yeah.
you had a mission, you had a journey, you had a goal in life to
Right.
can't beat all this little ailments to stop you. So you were obviously a go-getter, as they would say. So to the audience, I just wanted to share this photo of this lovely, what I would say, a Bollywood actress like Sunaina Ben. This is from the book. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't have this book, it's available on the Amazon. It's available. And our Mahendra Bhai, if you are in London and you want to get this book signed by him, he's very happy to do that, because I certainly want it actually personally signed by him. So hopefully I'll get that opportunity to do so. So guys, amazing pictures about the family, about the business, about Uganda, about his life, about his travels. And from what I understand, Mahendra Bhai, you also went to Machu Picchu when you were in a younger years. Is that correct?
Correct, absolutely correct.
So Machu Picchu is a lovely location. Obviously, I found out about it much later. But share your couple minutes of experience at Machu Picchu. How did you like that?
It's amazing how these people must have built, whole
City.
whole city on the top of the mountain.
Correct.
Which had disappeared, and it was subsequently found, by some of the explorers. And the kind of construction, if you see the size of the stones, I mean, huge stones, 8 to 10 feet high and about 6 feet wide. How they carried those stones on top of the mountain and built that, and how they carried, the most sophisticated irrigation system to supply the water. Thereafter, what happened? How the whole city died and deserted. Nobody really knows exactly what happened, but it was a magnificent sight, and really an eye-opener as to how in those days, what skills they must be having to be able to build a monument like this. Of course, now Machu Picchu, in those days, of course, in my book, this kind of experience, we were not getting the transport facilities, so, and we couldn't leave the ladies who were with us, my sisters,
Correct.
with us. So myself and Suni's nephew, we got the place on top of the bus, with all the chicken baskets and all that, and every time, the low bridge came, we lit down
Bow
on that,
down. Yes.
that was one of the experiences, But
Yes.
but looking at that place, it was fantastic, how they took the contour survey to take water to that height.
Yes.
Masterpiece of engineering.
Absolutely. But what an amazing site to go at that time to visit and to see. Mahendra Bhai, I just wanted to transgress back into your trip from Peru. That's great, and Machu Picchu. But I still wanted to ask you one more question about your lovely autobiography, about your book. So help me with this. The first time when your house was surrounded by the army, they were looking after you, correct? Second time they came around. Did they want you to leave then?
But second time when they came around, that was after Amin made a declaration. On the last day, on 19th day was the limit, for people to leave.
Correct.
On 89th day, it seems that Allah appeared in his dream and told him that I also must leave the country. So that evening, he made an announcement, which also came on BBC, that even Mehta has been given quit orders. So that evening, I called up all the members of my staff who were remaining behind and still running the sugar factory, maintaining a low profile, but continuing with the day-to-day work. And I said, look, I can't take your responsibility anymore. I myself will have to go. Then we went to bed late at night. And then early in the morning, there was a knock on my door. And before and after that, we heard peacock shouting. I had a favorite peacock called Moti, which always sits behind my door. And whenever he saw any danger, he would just knock on the door with his beak, and then make a lot of noise to wake me up and say, "Look, there's danger." So after that, somebody knocked on the door, and I said, "What?" He said, "I'm your security guard." I said, "What do you want so early in the morning?" He said, "There are some people wanting to see you." I said, "Who are they?" And that was in the opposite house where my father had built earlier. I used to live there, and my brother used to live here earlier. Then I had made intricate arrangements, with some of my friends in Kenya, that in case of danger, they would land on my airstrip. I should hide in the, like James Bond story, I'll hide in the sugarcane. They'll pick me up, have take vertical takeoff and get me out of Uganda. Here there were 10 soldiers. And I said, well, how can I face them? It's probably, I can't go in with my gun. I was very good. I had military training at Boston Military School. And I had a lot of weapons with me. But I said, there are 10 people with AK-47 rifle. I got one rifle. Maybe I can kill one or two of them before they kill me. All sorts of thoughts came in my mind. But in 5 minutes, I said, well, God is great. I've done nothing wrong in this country. Let me go and face. So they were in the porch, 10 of them with AK-47 rifle.
Whoa.
When they saw me there, he said, good morning, sir. I said, good morning. What can I do for you so early in the morning? He said, Banabari, do you know us? We are frozen. What about some drinks? I said, bring brandy, whiskey, whatever you have, gin. Called him up, man, But captain was Muslim, he didn't drink,
Okay.
Yeah, and he says, have you received president's message? I said, yes. Are you leaving? I said, I'm leaving, trying to leave today. After I get all the clearances, because you get the clearance of the income tax department, my passport also cancelled her temporary traveling permit, from Canadian ambassador, who gave me the resident certificate if I wanted to go and settle in Canada, and traveling permit. And then he inquired about everybody in the family. He said, how is your mother? How is your sister? How is mama? How is your newborn baby? And I said, what, you're working at CID? How do you know all the members of my family? He said, sir, you don't know me well, but I know you very well. My father was working for you. I was born on your estate. I went to your school. You gave me scholarship to go abroad. And then I joined the army. And then instead of harassing me, they all lined up, saluted me and he says, sir, God be with you. This is Manania politics. One day you'll come back in our country.
Wow.
So that was how I got the the treatment from the army which came. But
amazing. And is that the reason you called your book The Call of the Peacock? It's because
right.
Yeah,
because peacock, see, once the peacock starts, what do we call call of the peacock is called what? Whatever.
yes.
Once they start, all the other peacocks follow him. They make such a lot of noise, saying that the danger is coming. And it's the peacock who woke me up.
And that's how you've attributed this particular name, The Call of the Peacock. That's what woke you up. But that was amazing, Mahendra Bhai, that an amazing favorite peacock of yours that came to wake you up to tell you that there is danger there. And this is the amazing world of nature, how the Lord has created this nature that a innocent bird like a peacock comes and knocks onto your door. Meenaben, can we please eliminate the Zoom user on this particular screen? Hang on just 1 second, Meenaben, please.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, Manubai Chandaria.
Yes, it just says Zoom user. I couldn't read the name, so unless I know who's coming in, it would help me a little bit. But not a problem. We've got an amazing friend of yours, Mahendra Bhai. We
Looks
have
like
got
Manu.
Manubai Chandaria with us, another legend, who we are so proud to say that was a Zoom speaker with us a few months ago. Manubai, a very warm welcome to you on MINLA Zoom session. Thank you.
Manu, you must be in bed at this time, you know. You are in Singapore.
Yes, I'm in Singapore.
And what's the time?
Yeah, well, time is now right. Oh, let's see. Just past around 11:30.
Okay.
Manubai, you have a
Yep.
couple minutes to say a couple words about our legendary speaker, Mr. Mahendra Mehta, from one legend to the other. If you can say something, please.
No, I think Mahendra is, I've known him since 1951. And to date, we've remained very close friends. He's always, you know, he has got that sweet voice, very much loved by women. So I just go behind him. So the one who touches him, if he can talk to them, the rest I can talk to. Mahendra is a good, shrewd businessman.
Yes.
Has continued living in Kampala in spite of Amin, and continued to remain over there. It's like, I was just writing to somebody, he said they live like Maharajas. The
Wow.
Madhwanis and Mehtas live like Maharajas. When we go there, we just feel that, my God, is the small kingdom or what? And I think Mahendra that way is very, very simple, nice to look at, nice to talk to. Always, I never heard a harsh word from his mouth for all these years. We sit also on the board together, and every 3 months he comes to Nairobi and we meet. Well, that friendship has lasted for a long time. I knew Mahendra as a bachelor. He used to come in Kampala when I was there for 2-3 years. He would just throw stones at night, get Aruna up, and make her to cook. And it's not once, number of times. But then he got hooked by the time when we were living with Sunaina, who was again a daughter of a very close friend of ours, Bikesha. So I think everything just worked out very well. Then I told him, I said, listen, now a Gujaratan a Vanian is coming to your home, and you be careful. And I think since then, he has been straight. Sunaina is a pleasant lady. I think that when you go to Lugazi, and if you haven't gone, just go once, and then you don't have to ask me the question. Just go once, and you'll see what, my God, it's just a small empire.
Wonderful,
But
Manubai. Thank you.
Thank you.
Go ahead. You've got a few 30 seconds to finish your chat.
Manu, I'm waiting for you to come.
Why carry on?
Yes. You've been asking me for the last few months now, and I keep on saying, yes, I will. But we have not been able to make it yet because we are so close to each other. So I think that once we go over there, it's not going to be 1-2 days. It's probably half a week or a 4 or 5 days affair. But we will.
Okay. Thank you, Manu. Nice to see you.
It's amazing when one legend meets another legend, how they talk about, and it's amazing. Meenaben, we'll carry on with the conversation. Manu.
Hello.
in presence with Mahendra Bhai Mehta. As we all know, ladies and gentlemen, time is flying very, very.
Hello?
I think is offline for a while.
Mm-hmm.
હા
Bolo.
basically હમણાં જ આવશે ઓફલાઈન નીકળી ગયા છે
Yeah.
So it was very interesting. ખાસ મનુભાઈ તમને મળવા માટે આવ્યા
Mm-hmm.
ને
Yeah.
એને તમારે સિક્રેટ બીજી પણ કીધી છે પણ હું નહીં કહું. Let me.
Where have we lost you?
You need to unmute.
Lalit, unmute yourself.
Okay, there we go. I have unmuted myself. My apologies. This is the virtual world, and I get dropped off the internet so quickly. So my apologies. I'm back all in full force, and we shall continue with the chat. We all know we are running out of time. When we are talking to a legend like Mr. Mahendra Bhai Mehta, we want to find out so much about his life history. We know he's been an amazingly successful entrepreneurial businessman, but equally a very humble human being, a very caring personality. And let us go to the side of Manubai that the audience may not know. We all know about his business, his success, his family a little bit, but let us find out a couple of things about Manubai. And you know what? I have some background information about Manubai. Manubai has a vice. He has a habit that he cannot break. And let us find out what that is. Mahendra Bhai, Mahendra Bhai, tell us about your love for chocolates.
Oh, good gracious. Well,
This gentleman loves his chocolates.
yeah, I think I love chocolates, and people know that I love chocolates, so they keep on sending me boxes of chocolate every now and then, till I have to request. I say, please, chocolate dukan पे એટલી બધી chocolate ભેગી થઈ ગઈ છે, please don't send me any more chocolates. But I control my intake. I take 2 chocolates, small pieces, after my lunch, with my coffee, and that's about all.
Okay, Manu Bhai, Mahendra Bhai, which is your favorite chocolate?
My favorite chocolate is called it's a handmade chocolate in Switzerland, not easily available. Called AUR, Aur. And that is handmade, only available in either Zurich or Geneva. And another favorite chocolate is Frigo. These are the 2 chocolates. Both are rare chocolates, not easily available in the shops, world over.
Okay. So we find out about the chocolate love of Mahendra Bhai. Mahendra Bhai, before I would just like to hear 1 minute of your first meeting with your wife. How did you meet Sunaina Ben?
Good gracious. I met Suni through my doctor friend, Dr. Bosley, whom I referred to earlier, that he treated me. He was my physiotherapist, and he was also treating Suni's brother, who had polio to start with. So he knew the family. So he had invited our family and Shah family in one of the restaurants in Mumbai. At that time, she was probably studying, in school. I'm not sure. Suni is sitting here. Suni, were you in school or at college at that time?
Mahendra Bhai, you're supposed to know that.
Yes, she was in college at the time. And it was meeting. See, when I took over the charge of sugar factory here, and my brother left because at one time my father wanted to sell the factory. So he called all of us, we were offered from South African guy Hewlett and Company, which is a well-known sugar tycoon, in South Africa. And he said, look, I'm getting old. I must have one of my sons, to come and stay with me. Mahendra is too young, but I want at least Dhirubhai to come and stay with me here. So I was a bit annoyed, that he made me leave my studies and take over the sugar factory, get my training here. And now he's saying, that he wants to sell the sugar factory. So we had discussions, there was some difference of what price we wanted and what Hewlett were prepared to give. And after a lot of thought, he called me next day in the morning. He said, no, I feel so sad that I could sell this because I'm getting old, I need somebody here to develop the Indian business to support me. I said, that is your worry. I said, I've created all this with my sweat and blood. I said, if this is your problem, then I'm prepared to take it over. So he just looked at me and laughed, And he said, you mean it? I said, yes. So he called both of us, Dhirubhai and myself, my elder brother and myself, and said, look, between you two brothers decide. In the next 3 years or 4 years' time, one of you must move to India to look after Indian business, and one of you can stay in Uganda. So my elder brother, after 3 years, decided, because he had children by that time, and my papi wanted to be in India, he decided to go to India. And I was alone here for about 3 years, bachelor, eligible, but still alone. And time to time I used to go to India and meet many young ladies, which my sister knew, introduced me to. And ultimately, we met Suni at that time, because by that time she had graduated, she was doing her PhD. And we had gone to the Governor's Lodge in Mumbai to have a swim. My friend Dr. Bhosle had access to the special beach of the government house in Mumbai. And we sat there, we swam together, we went on a boat ride. I looked at the girl, I looked at her quite daring nature, the way she climbed the boat, in the middle of the sea. And that time I felt, this seems to be the right girl for me.
So the fact that she could climb the boat in the sea, you knew that that was the right person for you.
Yeah, she was of course good looking, very proportionate body.
This is the love life of Mahendra Bhai Mehta. Mahendra Bhai, lovely to share. But you know what? You're hiding her behind there. Would she be okay to give us a little glimpse of her on screen online today?
Suni, please. Well, I will call somebody.
Okay, that's so kind of you. So kind of you. So this is all amazing. We know about Mahendra Bhai Mehta's entrepreneurial life and his business stories, success stories, and how he hugely built an empire internationally, globally. He's very well known. But a little about his personal life is always fun to hear, because we don't get to hear a lot about that side of his life. So I thought it would be a very good idea if Sunaina Ben could actually come and say hello to us online. We would love that. And while she's coming, Mahendra Bhai, if I may ask you a little question about your relationship with your, obviously, the one daughter, the one son. If you can tell us a little bit about your son Jay and his wife Juhi and your grandchildren.
I think I'm very lucky in the sense, that both my children, of course, they're well educated. They've lived abroad for a number of years, and yet they've not forgotten the values of life, and the culture which they've inherited from the family, starting from my from the grandfather to the father, and they've been very, very supportive, very understanding. During the crisis we had, I had to go from place to place, travel every third day, and to go to Washington, negotiate for the finance for the turnkey projects we're doing through our consultancy. You see, it was not just consultancy, but we're building turnkey project. Our concept was from consultancy, from concept, from feasibility to building the whole thing, raising finance, building the whole project, and then providing management. And that we, from concept to completion, and then providing management services. And whatever projects we built, they were very, very successful, and they were built within time, within budget, and with higher production than estimated earlier in the projections. And in that task, my wife, Suni, helped me a great deal, because I was booking projects, going all over the world, providing the consultancy, making contacts with various ministers, various presidents. So we built provide consultancy and built a lot of projects. We had sugar factory, 2 sugar factories in Kenya, alcohol plant. Then we even Kenya was built by us, which is now looked after by the. It's been taken over by the Rai brothers. But before we could commission the plant, we had quit orders. So it ultimately it was completed when we came back. But my wife, had done economics, and her father trained her for the business, how to run the business. So she was a great help. She took over, and she was in charge of the implementation of the project, while I was in charge of raising finance, negotiating with the governments, traveling all over the world. And she was holding the fort. Ultimately, we had chosen Kenya as our headquarters, having built, some industries in Canada, and started some business in UK. But I decided Kenya will be our best base, because travel-wise, time difference-wise, I mean, London was 2-3 hours, time difference. India for 2.5 hours time difference, So it was a very convenient location, very central, and it had good connections all over. So she used to look after, and she stood like a rock, even during the days of our crisis, And
as they say, behind every successful man, there is a woman.
Well, that may certainly be true of as far as my life is concerned.
Absolutely, I totally understand. Mahendra Bhai, time is flying so very fast. One final comment. We have a couple minutes before we get on to the next section, which is only about 5 minutes long. So may I tell the viewers, please hang on. We are going to be going through a rapid fire round with Mahendra Bhai in just a couple minutes. The first question will announce it, but before we go on to the rapid fire round, Mahendra Bhai, we only have about a minute and a half for this answer. Tell us a little bit interesting about your grandchildren, Arjun and Jahnavi, children to Jai and Juhi Mehta.
Well, Jahnavi, her name Jahnavi is according to Rashi. Our family, we still maintain the traditions, you know. So her Rashi was coming, Kirk Rashi is coming as J, and she was born on the day of Shivratri. So we chose the name Jahnavi. And Jahnavi is very brilliant girl. Whatever she takes up, you know, she likes to study it thoroughly. And
the same genes have been transferred from you to her.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but maybe she's got it, you know, from her father or from her dadima. And
she's currently studying
in Columbia University.
Wonderful.
And her essays and papers are put in the archives there. One of the most brilliant brilliant essays she had written.
Amazing.
And I don't know what she will do after she leaves the studies. At the moment, she's got another couple of years to go. And,
perfect. And how about Arjun?
Arjun was very playful.
Naughty like his dada.
Naughty like like his father and grandfather, probably.
More so the grandfather.
And he just completed. We celebrated my Radha's birthday. And our wedding anniversary, 63rd wedding anniversary, and completion of Arjun's schooling and his admission. He's already got admission in Columbia University. He will be joining his sisters there.
Wonderful.
So, yeah. And he's also crazy about the cars, you know. He's got a lot of friends, a lot of African friends he made in school. And Radha, of course, Radha went to school in Kenya, in Nairobi. Then she went, you know, did her school certificate in London. Then she went to London School of Economics. She was getting admission in Oxford or Cambridge, but she didn't want to go. She said, I'd like to stay at home. And went to London School of Economics, graduated there. Then she joined Pricewaterhouse, became chartered accountant, worked there. She passed first attempt and got the job in Pricewaterhouse. And thereafter, she worked for some time, and she said, look, just going through the old books, you know, I don't think I'm really cut out for that for a long time. You know. But the friends she made there, they were all, she made friends, you know, in Kenya, and then in the school in London, and then School of, economics, you know, and then chartered accountants. And thereafter, she went to SUAS to study she wanted to know something more about her religion, about her culture. So she took Indian philosophy, she took Ayurveda, and she took the Indian philosophy, you know. And she graduated in SUAS, School of Oriental African Studies. You know about it, I'm sure.
Yes.
Yeah. And thereafter, she was specializing in classical music and had a good training in Bharati Vidya Bhavan. She did a lot of things. She did so many things in life. You know. Then she followed the yogic practice. You know, she said, "Look, I was inspired by the way you were doing yoga in your when I was a baby, and you were still doing your exercise regularly." And then now she's pursuing, you know, investing on the stock market. and he's also learning French, joined the French class to learn the French lessons. And on this occasion, my son and my daughter organized the celebrations, her birthday and her wedding anniversary, Arjun's completing the school, and then his birthday also followed. About 170 people came to attend that in Florence.
Lovely.
Yeah, and as far as she is concerned, I mean, it doesn't matter whether a person is a millionaire or she had invited everybody. She said, whoever is my friend who has been associated with me, I would like them to attend this function, And people, her maid came, who looked after her, housemaid,
Wow.
for 37 years. She flew all the way from Colombia to attend this ceremony. And all our friends, all of us, chartered accountants, some are bank managers, some are financial wizards, all of them attended. 170 people attended the function, and this was only in month of July.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Isn't it amazing to know the different side of a huge business tycoon, a business empire leader, a legend? Ladies and gentlemen, this is so interesting to have had an amazing conversation with the legend Mahendra Mehta. Mahendra, this is a massive thank you to you from MINLA, from all the guests. But before we log off, our very popular MINLA Zoom session, rapid fire round. And it literally means a very quick question, Mahendra, and a very quick answer. So we will actually try to complete this 20 questions in the next 2 to 3 minutes. Is that okay with you, Mahendra?
Should be all right, yeah.
Yeah, that's perfect. Now, may I also say, so many people have requested by messaging that they want some time online to have a chat with them, but wait for the session to finish. We will open up the session so everybody can have a quick hello with Mahendra. But unfortunately, while the session is going on, we have already gone over time. So I'm unable to quickly go into the rapid fire round, and the rapid fire round starts now. Mahendra, this is your very first question, and I request a very quick answer to this. And the question is, the call of the cock.
Sorry?
The first word or statement is call of the peacock.
I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do.
Bye.
Sorry. Fire round.
Can you? Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. What am I supposed to do?
Okay. This is the rapid fire round. I have got a statement for you. The call of the peacock.
Yeah.
What does it mean to you?
It means, a lot for me, because it was peacock which woke me up when the soldiers came to meet me.
Thank you. The second question, Uganda.
Uganda is my home. My first love.
Your home, your first love. Thank you. The third one, sugarcane.
Sugarcane is also part of my life, because this is the industry in which I was trained right from young days.
Thank you. The name, Idi Amin Dada.
Idi Amin Dada is well known. Dictator who expelled all the Indian community and killed 500,000 people whom he suspected.
Thank you. The name Agrima.
Agrima was our consultancy company, which I started with a small office with 1.5 part-time secretary and one manager. And ultimately, that company built up, projects worth millions of dollars, in about 5 countries of the world.
Thank you. The name Can India.
Can India was started with 3 founder members of Can India, myself, Mumbai, Chanderiya, and Nechai, Simon Nechai, who was the cabinet secretary, also Minister of Finance once. 3 of us
Thank
started.
you. We'll go on to the next question. We found Can India founded by 3 members. The next question would be Mehta Golf Course.
I started playing golf after I had a bit of a heart problem, and we called a gentleman from Kenyatta Sugar Factory, who was an amateur designer. I told him I want a golf course here because I don't want to travel to Jinja or Kampala. Traffic jam takes a lot of time. And he looked at it, it was in valleys, with quarries.
Okay, Mahendra Bhai, we'll have to make it a very quick answer. Mehta Golf Course, what does it mean to you?
It means a lot, because we've been able to train lots of people in golf, apart from the fact that I had built it for my personal exercise. After
Okay.
Right.
Thank you. The name Jahnavi Mehta.
My granddaughter, a brilliant girl, and always ready to go into new ventures.
Thank you. Mr. Mehta, your favorite sport?
Started with cricket, and then riding, polo, and after my problem, golf.
Thank you. Your favorite pastime, besides playing golf, one thing that you enjoy doing?
Reading.
Reading. Okay, you are from a Gujarati family, Mahendra Bhai. So your favorite breakfast, would it be garam chai, garam puri, or garam chai, garam paratha, or garam chai, jalebi and fafda?
Garam chai and paratha, and I got a sweet tooth, so very often jalebi and fafda.
There you go. So we know Manu Bhai loves garam paratha, Mahendra Bhai loves garam paratha. Okay, one of the motivational speaker that you would listen to.
My sister was a great orator.
Savita Didi.
Savita Didi, it was a pleasure to listen to her.
Thank you. And inspiration? Okay.
And Narendra Modi.
Ah, wonderful. 2 people, Savita Didi and Narendra Modi. Thank you. An inspirational, motivational book that you would recommend, one book to read.
Spiritual side, I would say autobiography of a yogi.
Thank you. Thank you. The next question, your favorite city or town to live in? Is that Lugazi? Is that London? Or is that Porbandar?
Lugazi.
Lugazi. What does the name Mr. Manubhai Chandaria mean to you?
Good friend, full of humor, and person who never says no.
Thank you. What can you say one word about our current Prime Minister of India, Mr. Narendra Modi?
I think he's a great leader. And for the first time, we got a Prime Minister who thinks of India as a Hindu Rashtra.
Thank you. Yeah, one of the Bollywood actresses that would be your favorite. You can name 3 if you want.
I think Nargis, then we had Madhubala, amongst the old actresses.
And the third one?
Third one, there'll be many more.
Go ahead.
Yeah, the wife of um, uh, wife of what's his name? No, 90-year-old. You know, you're texting me to remember all these things. You know.
Okay, so we definitely have Madhubala and Nargis on your favorite list. Is that correct?
Yeah, two of them.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Last question, Mahendra Bhai. What did you think about playing this rapid fire round of Dr. Lalit Soda?
It's interesting.
Interesting. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Mahendra Bhai, thank you very much for participating on the MINLA Zoom session round. Before we end the session formally, our lady host, Mrs. Meenaben Khagram, is going to come and give us a vote of thanks. Mahendra Bhai, before she does that, my humble thank you. And as I said, my privilege to have been able to interview you. I must say a massive thank you to two people. Hemnad Bhai Katav, your nephew, who really assisted me on this particular session, and also one of your persons who spent a lot of time with you, Mr. Vishal Panchmatya. So Vishal, thank you very much. Hemnad Bhai, thank you very much. Meena Ben, the floor is all yours.
Thank you. Habariya Chioni to all. Jambo, Jai Raghuvansh, Jai Shri Krishna. This is my pleasant and humble duty to end this session with the heartiest thank you to my Bapuji my one Bapuji is Manu Bhai. Huh? He's a young and very, very good. Like Sri Mahendra Bhai Mehta. What a journey. I'm really inspired and motivated. Thank you, Satish Bhai Vitlani, like my younger brother and Lohana Mahaparishad president, always supporting us in our Zoom MINLA. I call him another Modi ji, had taken world Lohana into blast. Big thank you to Kaushik Bhai Panchmatia to make this session happen. He is a dynamic and very fast. Thank you all beautiful souls. Asandi Sana to all the viewers on Facebook Live and those who have logged live on this Zoom session. Can't end my thank you without saying big thank you to my cute cousin, Dr. Lalit Soda, and our co-host, Ali Bhai. Ali, come and say it. Thank you all. Asandi Sana, Kwaherini, Jai Raghuvansh, Jai Jalaram. Thank you. Please stay there to speak to Mahendra Bhai. Stay around. We are just going to close the live session.